Hi everyone. Today I'm deciding to, I've decided to renovate Deligracy's industrial chic build. I don't know, I watched a video and I thought it was so cool. And actually close to where I live, there's this old, I'm not sure what it used to be, but it's an old factory. And I always thought it had so much potential, and I was sad that the town didn't really do anything with it. So I thought this kind of reminded me of it, and thought it was cool. So that's why I'm renovating it. So I'm just making the tower more similar to what that factory around my place looks like. Yeah, the darker red brick. I just love that look, and I just changed the outside a little bit. Just adding some flooring here, and later in the build you'll see I've actually decided to make this lot two separate homes and then a shop, which is actually a tattoo studio, which I thought was quite cool. I thought it was kind of a space saving kind of tattoo studio. I thought maybe there was one young family in one of the houses, and then a young adult, or maybe I don't know, one other kid that they have in the house with their tattoo studio. So that's why I've done that. Here I was just changing the colors of the windows, but I'm gonna actually change them to black soon. I'm just going through the actual building a bit more quickly. I've cut some things out, some parts where I was looking for things. Just for the sake of watching, that's a bit nicer. But then when I get to the furnishing, you'll see a bit more of it. Yeah, just doing the roofs here. I really love what she did with the roof lines, with the roof line there. I think that's really cool. Yeah, just changing the outside fences. I will actually change those doors as well, and the colors of the windows. Just because I wanted it to be different. I'm keeping the windows, as you'll see later, but I am changing the color. So I wanted it to be a little more airy and open with the different doors that I'll be choosing a bit later. Yeah, here I'm just picking the door that we stick with. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I do quite like that door, and I think, as you can see, I've already changed the lighting, the color of the windows and the other doors. We have a lot of good items at this point in the game, I feel. A lot of modern items, but the only thing is I'm setting up a let's play off camera, and which I will play. It's a story that I've had in my head for years, and I really want to try and make that work in The Sims, so hopefully that'll work. But there I've downloaded some builds, and I'm just refurnishing them a bit, and I've noticed, despite what I thought, actually in furnishing we have a lot of old school kind of things, but I find we lack a little bit of that in the building. So like old-timey kind of doors, there's not a lot that are just a simple wood and white or wood and black. It always comes with a bit of a color, which that makes me sound like I hate color. I don't at all, but I do wish there was a little bit more neutral than the others. Yeah, I'm just fixing the lighting here. Let me know if you do that. I always do that. I always turn it to nighttime when I change the lights. Yeah, just going around, making sure it's all right, and then I think in a second we'll get to the furnishing. Yeah, changing the stair there. Yeah, and I like having a bit of cohesiveness between the builds, so I'm just changing the walls. Now I've just had the idea to mark this as a shop, but obviously you can't do that unless a sim owns it. So it is there for you to put it as a, like, make it a small business on your lot, but yeah. So here I'm just placing down the sinks and bathroom items that I want, and I'll fix them. I'll put them in the proper positions a bit later. But I like keeping the bathrooms cohesive, because at least in Switzerland where I live, every room, well, pretty much every room has the same appliances, so they'll have the same sink or the same shower, the same loo. So that's why I'm doing that. And this, I took the shower out of it actually, because it is a shop in my design. So I just kept that out. Yeah, as you can see, just figure out the configuration here. This I actually made. I decided to make it a bit of a bigger home, which you'll see later, but that's why I'm adding 2 sinks. Yeah. So I'll place the sim from the gallery just so I could check if everything was usable. So everything is player checked. So it's all usable the way I've put it, and that's all good. Just in case you're wondering. Yeah, just doing the kitchen there. I really do like that Home Chef Hustle kitchen. It is just the most satisfying blend of modernism and coziness, I suppose, because a lot of the items that we get in the game, I feel, are a bit, well, the modern items, I mean, I feel they're a bit stark and not very cozy looking, which is what I like in my modern kind of builds. I like the combination between the coziness and the modernism, which is kind of what I've set up my own house to be like. It's a very modern build. I mean, it's not a house, it's an apartment. I live in a flat, but it's the build is modern, but then some of the things I've put in are modern. Then I stick more to older looking kind of decor. It's kind of my style, I suppose, and I'm happy with it. So does my partner, seems to be happy too. Yeah, just putting some of the furnishing down, the lounge furniture. I did actually, in this bit, forget to put a couch table in, which was silly, but I will fix that later on. Yeah, I always struggle with the right kind of rug, but I think eventually we do make a good choice. Yeah. So I've kind of tried to keep this a little bit greeny with yellow accents. I mean, my favorite color is green, so I'm a little bit biased, but my favorite color, I mean, I do like all the colors, but green is just something I gravitate towards quite often, I've noticed. So, and here I didn't like that it was so dark, but I didn't want to put on a roof light. I suppose I could have put it on the higher ceiling, but it doesn't quite reach far enough, I find. So I went for wall light. Obviously, yeah, this is what I went for. So obviously you can change whatever you want, but that is kind of my idea, because I don't like I don't like the light bulbs just floating in midair, and I feel like the light doesn't reach down far enough if I put it on the top. Just putting a trusty plant. That is the best plant we got in an expansion pack, I think, because the other one I like, which I put down later, I think that's from either a kit or like a game pack or stuff pack, whatever. And I'm pretty sure that plant there was from Cottage Living, which was an expansion. Yeah, just trying to pick the bed. I think I went for this one, yeah. Whilst building it, that looked green to me, but actually it's more blue, isn't it? But it still works. It works, I promise. It works at the end. But yeah, sometimes it's a good to, yeah. And I decided to put the desk up here actually, because I put a dining area downstairs. Pardon. So as I was going to say, sometimes it is good, or it helps to step away from a build and come back to it when you're feeling more inspired, or just when you've slept on it. I find that helps with inspiration a little bit. Yeah. So sometimes, I mean, even this, I mean, there's, I think, almost 2 hours of recorded material here, which obviously I've cut down because I cut out a lot of the re-colouring of the walls and the floors, because I thought, you know, the recolour of the windows, because I thought that's so monotonous, it's not very fun to watch. So I cut all of that out, but this is a good 2 hours of footage. Obviously it's sped up, but it does take a while. It does take me a while at least to do a build. I've always, I don't know, I've always been like that, but then in the end it still doesn't ever really feel finished to me. So yeah, it's just, I don't really know what that is. A completionist personality, I suppose, but not sure. Yeah, here we're just picking the window. I wanted one with like a window cabinet, because yeah, I think this, sorry, had a long day. But I think, yeah, because our mirrors in our flat have cabinets behind them, which I think is quite useful. And I thought in a small house like this, I think the sim living here realistically would need a bit more storage space in the bathroom, all their skincare or makeup or whatever they need. So I thought that was useful, so that's why I put that there. Just I loved this this little stool thing as a bedside table. I really do like that. Here I'm just playing around with some of the wall colours. Watching the footage back now, I am a bit annoyed at myself not having put anything on that big wall there, so I might go back and do that before I upload it, but yeah, no, I definitely will. So sadly that won't be in this video, but as I said, I always have to go back and fix stuff after I've built it, it seems. It never feels complete to me. Possibly that's something I'll be able to work on having started YouTube, but yeah. I do hope people are enjoying these videos so far. There hasn't really been that many viewers or that many interactions, which, you know, is okay. It takes a while to build anything, and obviously I'm not doing this for any kind of, for lack of a better word, rise to fame. That's not at all why. It's just I love The Sims and I do love gaming. It's just I'm not The Sims. And none of my friends are interested in The Sims except for my sister a little bit, but also not as hardcore as I am. I watch a lot of Sims YouTubers, so I don't know, it's just kind of why I'm doing this, I suppose, and trying to find a little bit of a foothold or a couple like-minded people in the community. I know that Paralives just came out, and I will play that at one point on the channel as well. But I don't know, my heart just pulls to The Sims, and yeah, none of my other friends feel like that with The Sims, which is fine. Obviously, I have great friends and we have other things in common, otherwise we wouldn't be friends. But that's the reason I'm starting YouTube, because I thought I'd find a bit of a foothold in the community and hopefully some like-minded people. And if that leads to, you know, bigger things, then it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you regret 100% of the things you didn't try in life. So it's my philosophy, so might as well. So I really would like to hear if you're enjoying, if anyone is enjoying these videos, and if you are, thank you so much for watching, and leave me any kind of feedback you'd like. I'm open to criticism, as long as it's not beyond rude. If I can ask that, but I think generally people are quite friendly in my experience. But yeah, and then other games, I mean, I have a couple Subnautica videos on my channel. It is fun. I do like gaming, I'm just not good, is the thing. I'm such a noob, and I'm 29 years old. I've been gaming for years, but only as a hobby, and just, yeah, skill is something that is yeah, not in my wheelhouse, it seems, but it's fun. It is fun. Yeah. And I just saw today what is it called? Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis was announced, coming out next year in Feb, I believe, February 12th, which, if you know me, you know I am a huge Lara Croft fan. I think she's such a badass. Yeah, huge fan of the franchise. So I'm really excited for that. And who knows, maybe if this channel goes well, maybe if people are interested, I can play it on the channel. But yeah, that is one of my all-time favorite characters, and I'm so glad they're remaking it. I mean, I've had it on my list for a while, because I know they're also making a new Tomb Raider game, which I think hasn't been out yet. It's called Catalyst, but that, I don't think it's been announced yet when it's releasing, so we'll see when that comes. But for now, the news of the anniversary is just crazy. I'm so excited for that. Went on a bit of a tangent there, I apologise. I tend to do that. Tend to babble. So here, as you can see, I'm just building furnishing, sorry, for the tattoo studio, which whether or not you like tattoos or not, I think having tattoos in the game is cool, and I think the career of it, or the fact that you can have your own tattoo studio, I think that's quite fun. I have tattoos, not a lot. I got, yeah, 3, which I'd like to get more, but it's a matter of what do I want to put on my body forever. So that's why it's only 3, but yeah, no, I've always liked tattoos. So that's why I thought to build a tattoo studio, and also I feel like it's one of the only kind of shops where you can use a smaller amount of space efficiently, because a cafe, you want enough seating, and then pottery business that also came with the pack, businesses and hobbies, it's just, those items are quite big, So I would have maybe had to put them upstairs and then the shop downstairs, but then there's also not a lot of display possibilities at the bottom. So yeah, it's kind of why I went for tattoo studio, which I'm happy with. Yeah, I actually did like the idea of this awning that Deligracy had. I messaged her about this video, and also if she watches it, that would be a great honor. And if you are watching, Deli, thank you for making so many videos. I apologize for my email, just getting down the corner. Apologies for that. So Deli, if you are watching, thank you so much for always making these videos and entertaining people, being so kind in this community. Not that other people aren't, but I I love watching your videos. They're very comforting. And as you can see, I've taken great inspiration from you in your builds, and I think your builds are the easiest to kind of renovate and play with. So I really appreciate that. So yeah, big fan, and hope to see you in the comments one day. Sorry, I just had to finish that for a bit. Yeah, I just went for a bit of pinky kitchen here. So this, as you can see, I did 2 bedrooms up top. I thought this could be, yeah, like I said, maybe siblings, one with a young family, one with a tattoo parlor business, or maybe this is the parents' house and they have a young child and an older child that owns their tattoo business. So that was my kind of idea. So that top is going to be one parent's room and one baby's room, infant's room. And I think it is big enough to eventually put a single bed in, but not really anything else. Obviously this is quite tight quarters, as you can see, but I do kind of, part of me always prefers building small builds, not builds, but furnishing small builds, just because I feel like the fact of being kind of restricted with what you can do, I think forces you to be creative, for lack of a better explanation. I think sometimes that's quite nice. So I struggle doing really big builds or filling them out, because I always think it's a danger of it feeling empty, which I don't want. So that is why I prefer smaller builds. I mean, it could be bigger than this, obviously, but sorry again. Could be bigger than this, obviously, but I mean, this is what we're dealing with, what we've decided to renovate. It is a brilliant build, and I'm not actually sure about how Deligracy furnished it. I might check that out after, but I'm sure it's brilliant as well. I really appreciate building this. One thing I do really need to work on is my landscaping. I'm okay, but honestly it's not great. I'm not very good at that. I love the fact that she put greenery all around the corners or the edges of the houses. I think it just adds so much, and the pathways in between. Yeah, you just gotta practice, I suppose, like anything in life. Yeah, just making the baby's room there. And there's a fun part coming where I decide what to put on the little landing there. this house I really enjoyed furnishing because, I don't know, it's a small young family. In my mind, this was really nice. They can't afford much, but they're doing their best. Limited space. I think this is lovely. Yeah, the classic cloud that will come away soon, as you'll see later. Just putting up family portrait, but then I decided not to put that there. Put it by the door. And this, yeah. When the child grows up. I love this cookbook. I just, honestly, I'm embarrassed to say I have so many cookbooks, which I love, also because of the illustrations, but I do tend to use my iPad more, which I have to get out of that habit. I really want to start using my cookbooks. So here, yeah, I thought to make, put an easel on the landing, because I thought that's a nice idea. You know, you have the window to the outside. I added another one so the view would realistically in my head be quite good. But yeah, that's why I added this easel there. I thought, why not add a little bit of a hobby space? And I do like adding paint splatters to this, what's it called, tarp? Yeah. And here I thought a nice graffiti might be fun, but I do move it eventually. As I said before, I'm a bit particular with my, my furnishing, so I keep changing my mind about stuff. Yeah, just now, just looking for appropriate paintings, really. Paintings that look like they could have been painted by the person living here. Now, I wanted a big mural, but I didn't really love all the ones that we had there. I think the game actually lets you do graffiti, and really nice graffiti, but obviously they're not available in build by mode. But yeah, I added a couple stickers to the walls here because I thought that was quite cute. Just seeing what works. This is the decorating process is the thing that always takes the longest. Yeah, and I decided to have some sketches there. And also this house, even though it's marked, that's actually quite an irritating thing I find. On the gallery, it's marked as with custom content, even though it doesn't have custom content. And I can't make it go away. So if you do want to download this, which obviously you're more than welcome to and encouraged, sadly you will have to change. You will have to tick the box that says include custom content. But there is none in this build, so yeah. I really hope I changed the wall color there, but I think I do. Yeah, here I've had some issues, and I know Deli did too in her when yeah, there we go with the wall. I know Deli did too with the playability of this, so then you'll see me test it a bit later. Yeah, and I decided to put a little bench there. I really am happy with this this build, I gotta say. Yeah. So as you see in a sec, it's yeah, I'm having a couple issues here until I figured out that I just need to lower the floor. Just testing stuff out. I think Deli had an issue with this too, and then she fixed it. Yeah. It's always quite, platforms are quite difficult. Like, I don't understand why exactly that wasn't possible, but But yeah, it is what it is. Right, and then we're just furnishing this little thing, this column, for lack of a better word. I really wanted to put a telescope there, but you can't put it outside, which I think is stupid. So I was upset with that. So I thought, what can I do? And I settled on a library with a bit of a peaceful reading spot, because I do like reading. But I'm still not quite over the fact that I can't put a telescope in there. I mean, why? Just, it makes no sense to me that you can't use the telescope through the window. But I guess it'd be hard to program if Sims need to be able to see it through the window. I think in a second we'll be going through. Sadly, I can't see it, but I think in a second we'll be going through the build. Yeah, just fixing some last minute things there. Yeah. Window. Yeah, final touches. Oh yeah, curtains, yeah. Curtains is another thing that I always kind of forget, which is different. Oh, I forgot a bin in this house. Well, I put it when I want to put something on that wall in the other house. I'll put a bin in this house too. You see what I mean? This is why I have to keep going back. Yeah, just changing the walls to something a bit more interesting. Yeah. I do like that kids' room. Yeah, just doing the ceiling paints. I think that I'm really glad that they added that, because I think it adds so much. It really does. I've just also noticed that there are 2 roof lights in that one build that aren't properly. Yeah, here we go through the build. Actually, I noticed some things that were wrong there, so I guess we'll go through after. So yeah, those 2 roof lights on the house on the left, they're not open to the downstairs, so I might try and fix that as well before I upload it, which is not in this video. Yeah, I noticed that was there. And I cut this part of the video out, but the what do you say, the trims on the outside, they didn't really work because they kept cutting into the inside. So honestly, I just left them because I couldn't figure out how to make that work. So I think it looks nice without it. I just don't like when they're on the inside, especially not those really big blocky industrial ones. Yeah, just adding some final touches, because I noticed I actually did a walkthrough already. I just noticed some things that were missing, except sadly the bin, but here comes the couch table. Yeah, but then soon we'll do our proper walkthrough, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, just adding some magazine racks. I thought for this sim being a tattoo artist, they might take some inspiration from magazine pictures. So I thought that was nice. Yeah, desperately need to add something on that wall. Yeah, when I go into the build, I will do that. Yeah, just checking, and now going into a proper walkthrough. Right, so we're doing this house first. This is the family house. Nice little living area. Upstairs. I do love those floating stairs. Nice kitchen. And a family bath. Now just up the floating staircase, which is lovely. Get the parents' room. Nice, simple, plain. And then the little baby's room. Just lovely with that moon. And this is the other house. Yeah, just coming in, doing all of that. I think of both of them, I'd probably live in this one, just because I think it's a lot more inviting. And here's the upstairs, which I think is lovely too. And this person has a little chair. And then we go down into the tattoo studio. Upstairs, where the tattooing happened. And that was it for the build. Oh no, we still have this. Well, I'm almost done. So I really hope you enjoyed my build, and subscribe for more, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Bye bye.